This is Kevin. At 12, he got straight A's. At 16, he was a national champion. But after he graduated from college, no one cared about him anymore. So, he begged us for one thing, to make him the honored one. We're going to use actual science to give him all of Gojo's powers, like Infinity, Hollow Purple, and even his domain expansion, Unlimited Void. But there's a twist. The same power that makes him invincible will quietly kill him, because of one creepy scientific phenomenon we'll explain later. Gojo's 6 eyes allow him to have godlike perception. Here's how we give this to Kevin. Your brain doesn't actually see the world, it guesses it, and it only pays attention to stuff that doesn't match its guess. Scientists call this predictive coding, but under fast conditions, those guesses accumulate faster than the brain can handle. This creates lag, which gets you killed in a real fight. Here's the solution. Every neuron is wrapped in a coating called myelin, like insulation on a wire, and thicker insulation means faster signals. Therefore, we thicken Kevin's myelin and widen the nerve itself to prevent it from suffocating. However, Gojo also has the ability to sense stuff he can't see. Every living thing quietly leaks energy, because nerves never fully switch off. Sharks can detect this energy through organs called the ampullae of Lorenzini, tiny biological antennas. So, we grow these around Kevin's eye sockets. Now, he can feel the outline of living beings through walls. When we're testing his new eyes, we detect something strange. A faint signal inside Kevin's body, and it's coming from his own cells. We'll get to this mystery later. Greek philosopher Zeno once said something insane. An arrow can never reach its target, because before it gets there, it has to cross half the distance, then half of that, again and again. Mathematically, there are infinite steps, so the arrow never truly arrives. That's essentially what Gojo's infinity is. Everything moving towards him slows down forever before it makes contact. Here's how we recreate it. Every atom has electrons surrounding it. When those electrons enter a strong magnetic field, they push back by generating an opposing force. In 1997, scientists managed to levitate a frog using nothing but a magnetic field. Electric eels can produce 600 volts by stacking thousands of cells that act like tiny batteries, called electrocytes, and a moving electrical current always generates a magnetic field around it. Therefore, we grow these cells beneath Kevin's skin, generating a current strong enough to surround his entire body with a magnetic field. Anything that enters it gets pushed back, and the closer something gets, the stronger the resistance. However, because the cells run automatically like a heartbeat, Kevin can't switch Infinity off. And when we scan his body, we notice something bone-chilling. The cells on the surface of his skin are shrinking. Gojo's blue works like a mini black hole, collapsing everything towards a single point. In 2015, scientists at the University of Bristol discovered that sound waves, when arranged in a specific pattern, create a pocket of low pressure that physically sucks nearby objects towards it. But we need a biological version. There's an animal called the pistol shrimp. Its claws can snap so fast, they create a tiny vacuum in the surrounding water. When that vacuum collapses, it pulls everything nearby inward. Therefore, we build organs inside Kevin's palm that recreate that snap in open air, allowing him to create a pocket of low pressure wherever he points at, and everything near it gets pulled in. But every time the organs activate, the pressure flows back into him. Repeated use causes internal bleeding, so he can't use this attack much. And when we scan his body again, the cellular shrinking has spread deeper. It's no longer just the surface. If blue is a black hole, red is a supernova. Here's how we give this to Kevin. The sperm whale produces the loudest sound ever recorded from a living creature, 230 decibels, using the spermaceti organ in its head, and the sound creates a pressure wave powerful enough to kill giant squids from a distance. Therefore, we engineer Kevin's palm organs to do the same. Instead of creating a vacuum that pulls, it produces a pressure wave that explodes. But we take it further. Every object has a natural frequency, a vibration that, if matched exactly, destroys it from the inside. So, we make it so that Kevin can tune his wave to match whatever he's targeting, shattering it from both the outside and inside. However, there is a trade-off. With blue, the most violent point is external, wherever Kevin aims. With red, it's inside his own palm. With every use, his internal bleeding gets 10 times worse. And the latest scan shows something even more eerie. Kevin's cells aren't just shrinking, they're losing their grip on his body from the inside, becoming looser and looser. Kevin now has blue and red, but what happens when he fires both at the same point simultaneously? Something that shouldn't exist. He fires blue first, creating a vacuum at the target point. Normally, air rushes in from all sides to collapse it, and that's all. But the moment it begins to collapse, he fires red directly into its center. Now, both the collapsing air and red's pressure wave converge towards the same point at once. There's pressure from every direction and nowhere for it to go. When energy gets completely trapped with no way out, it doesn't stop. It explodes as pure heat and light. Scientists call this adiabatic heating, and the temperature of this explosion is hotter than the sun. However, Kevin only gets one chance to use Hollow Purple because activating both organs at once destroys them completely. And we notice something horrifying. The cellular shrinking and detachment that took weeks is now happening in hours. And the most eerie part is that it's perfectly uniform throughout his entire body, almost as if his body is disconnecting itself from the world. Every second, your brain receives 11 million bits of information, but you're only aware of about 40 of them. The rest gets filtered out before it reaches your conscious mind. And that filter is the only reason you can function, because if you remove it, the brain locks itself, making you paralyzed. That's the key to creating a domain expansion. There's a medical technology called TMS. It's a procedure where doctors hold a magnetic coil outside the skull and pulse it. The field then passes through the skull and forces neurons inside the brain to activate without any surgery. Kevin is already generating a powerful magnetic field because of Infinity. Therefore, we spike the frequency of that field, turning him into a living TMS coil. This allows him to activate every neuron in the target's brain simultaneously, incapacitating them. The target experiences everything, and they can't do anything. However, the field affects Kevin as well. If he's not careful, he could lock his own mind. It's time we address the horrifying phenomena occurring in Kevin's body. Here's a creepy fact nobody tells you about your cells. Cells need more than just food to stay alive. They need to be touched. Every cell constantly receives tiny physical signals from the world, pressure, vibration, etc. Those signals travel into the cell through tiny molecular hooks called integrins, which anchor each cell inside the body, and is the signal that tells cells to stay alive. If you cut off that signal, the cell begins to shut itself down. Scientists call this anoikis, which is a Greek word that literally translates to homelessness. Essentially, a cell is programmed to self-destruct the moment it realizes it has lost its physical connection to its home. It literally dies from isolation. Kevin's magnetic field has been running since Chapter 2, and it's been quietly interfering with his integrins by severing his cells' contact to the world. This is why his cells have been losing their grip on his own body, because his Infinity isn't just repelling the outside world, it's repelling his own biology. Kevin came to us because he wanted to be the honored one, to be worshipped and respected by everyone around him. But even though he's the strongest person alive, he's slowly fading away.